So it is Friday, and you know what that means, Flower It Up Friday. This is going to be my last Flower It Up Friday for 2023. Next week, I am going to just take some time and just decompress and relax and just be with the family. So I will be back next year with some flower using recipes, and hopefully you will enjoy your holidays and have a happy and healthy new year. So I will see you in 2024 with more videos, and hopefully your family and your loved ones enjoy the holidays and the meaning of the holidays, not all this commercialized things that we know of today. Okay, so Christmas is 3 days away, so I wanted to make some Christmas inspired cookies. And I have my ingredients here: salt, baking powder, butter, and that's home care butter, vanilla. This is my vanilla that I made about 2 years ago now, and I made it with bourbon, that's why it's so dark. The one I made with vodka is much lighter than this one. I have some water glass eggs here, some flour, and some vanilla sugar. And that's what I'm going to be using today to make sugar cookies. And someone recently asked for results of water glass eggs. Now, I water glassed these back in August of 2022. These are farm eggs. I actually got them from my farmer's market last year, and I have done store-bought eggs the exact same way. The only difference between the two I find is the yellowness or orangeness of the yolk. The farm ones are a much more intense coloring in that yolk, but everything else, water glassing them, I've showed you how to water glass store-bought eggs, so you can water glass store-bought eggs. You don't have to have farm fresh eggs in order to water glass. Now I'm going to show you the results of using my water glass eggs in cookies today. And do you see this egg here? That is probably a crack, why the lime is concentrating on that line on the egg. So I will have to investigate this when I open it up and see if that particular egg is any good to use. So I'm going to be taking at least that one plus 2 other ones for my recipe out of this jar today. So enough about the eggs, let's get to making cookies. And I will include the recipe in the description box below. And this is a great recipe that you can get the kids involved. If they're old enough, they could probably do this on their own. It's very simple, straightforward, and easy to follow. While my sugar and butter is creaming, I'm going to measure out my dry ingredients. Now, I sift my flour before I put it into the container, but I would suggest you sift your flour. Now that I have all my dry ingredients measured out, I am checking my eggs, and as you can see, they are not floating, but this one, I don't know if you can see that, but it is cracked. So this is going to be a bad one. I'm not even going to open it in the house. This is going right outside to the compost pile. So now that I have my butter and sugar cream together, it's a nice pale yellow color now. I'm adding in my vanilla, and I'm going to get that incorporated. And then I will add in my eggs one at a time, making sure I check them in the water, I smelt them, and everything smelled good. So that's why I'm adding them into my batter. You want to do at least a visual check and a smell test at least. So here goes my second egg, and once I have that incorporated, I'm going to start adding in my dry ingredients, my flour, my baking powder, and my salt. So now that you got your cookie batter all mixed together, you want to chill this in the fridge for about an hour or in the freezer for about half an hour, 15 minutes or so. You can keep this in the fridge for a day or two before you bake it off, or you can actually put this in the freezer and freeze it. So all I do is wrap it in a couple of layers of cling film or plastic wrap and label it and put it in my freezer for a later time for up to a couple of months, and then pull it out, defrost it, and bake it off. So it's up to you. You could do this in advance, or you could do this a couple of days before you actually need it. So it's very versatile in that. So I have my lightly floured work surface to roll out the cookies. I have my rolling pin, cookie cutters here. On these I actually got about 2-3 years ago from the flea market, and I paid $2 for all these cookie cutters. I think there's about 20 or so in there, which was a great find. So I have all my holiday ones. I have some regular ones here as well, and I'm going to get to cutting out and rolling out and cutting out these cookies, and then we're gonna decorate them. You can decorate them with sugar, sprinkles. You can do royal icing if you want. You can do whatever you want on top of them. I'm going to do sprinkles because that's the easiest for us, and I am using a couple of cookie sheets with the Silpat. I used to use parchment paper, but I bought these probably about, I don't know, a year ago, and they were an investment because they're not cheap. And yeah, I just realized I'm missing one, so I have to go and find that. So we like a thinner, crisper cookie, and we roll them out thinner than probably anyone else does. So we're probably about 1/4 inch. You probably want to do about 1/2 inch or more, depending on how you like them. So that's the beauty of making your own. You get exactly what you want. So I got a little bit of help cutting out the rest of the shapes and also getting them on the cookie sheets and decorating the tops. We did some with sprinkles and some with sugar, and everybody got what they wanted, whatever design they wanted on their little cookies. So depending on your oven will depend on how long they stay in, and also depending on what kind of pan you use will depend how long you want to cook them for or bake them for. So here they are out of the oven, and they smell delicious. Some will become Christmas gifts along with some other little gifts I am going to put with them, and some will be eaten, of course. Just a little tip, depending on how hot your oven runs and whether you use a dark pan or a light color pan will determine the brownness of the bottom of your cookies. So these were on 2 different color pans, but they were in for the same amount of time. So this one was on the silver pan and the other one was on the nonstick darker pan. So just a quick tip to keep your cookie cutters from going rusty. I wash them in warm soapy water, rinse them, and then I just sit them in my already warm oven to dry. So the mystery of the missing soap pad has been solved. A couple of weeks ago I had a scary incident, completely my fault. A 9x13 Anchor glass dish exploded on me, and nobody else was in the kitchen. Nobody in the family was in the kitchen but me, which I was grateful for. But when my hubby came and cleaned it up, because I was so shaken up, I just had to take a minute and regroup. He actually threw out the soap pad as well. We're 99% sure that that's what happened. So the mystery of the soap pad has been solved, so I can stop looking for it now. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and click that notification bell to be notified when I upload videos.